Good morning, welcome, 1,000 welcomes. And we are meditating today on the topic awareness. And awareness is our focus today. Is part of our series on how to navigate change. And so from one perspective, we are the changeless. We are ever blissful. Congratulations to your ever blissfulness. We are ever free and rejoicing at your eternal, always freeness. And then in another way, we're here in time and space. And in time and space, it can feel as if waves of change are here. And so what we're inviting ourselves to do is something more or less like, how may I surf the waves of change? So that rather than there being struggle or pain or resistance or reluctance involved, we have as much fun as we possibly can. And we're aware that we have, every one of us, the ability to participate joyfully and wisely and with courage and strength in time and space. And so we're sharing teachings of truth and connecting inwardly because each of us has this inbuilt connectedness with the divine, this inbuilt, wise, calm perspective, which helps us be in contact with the wisdom of our soul, that which is always present and available, and then that helps us navigate the changing, step by step, little by little. So we're also devoting ourselves to very practical, positive, day-by-day, step-by-step actions, positive actions that move us in the direction of what we would like to help make visible. So connecting with that in consciousness and then being very practical, little by little, step by step. Today, this very day, how may I move forward in a way that is highest and best for me and for all? And so I want to share with you a couple of teachings. Some of them made me burst out laughing. Some of them brought tears to my eyes. So you can just be open to the full spectrum of human emotions. And that's another thing just to say is that human emotions don't need to be scary. We don't need to keep ourselves from feeling them, but be able to greet them, whatever they are, be able to greet them and be able to work with them in wisdom and with awareness and joy. So not shying away from, if we're feeling joy, greeting the joy within ourselves. And if we're feeling sad or we're feeling frustrated or we're feeling whatever it is that we're feeling, we just notice and we greet it. And we say, I see that, that's present in me. And I'm able to work with that in wisdom. And I'm able to look at what it is that underlies that emotion. So you could kind of think of it as like, this emotion is like an energy packet. And so it can be, the Bhagavad Gita says, it can be the energy packet of anger that exists within ourselves. We have the ability, as soon as we become aware of this energy packet of anger, to detonate it outwardly or inwardly. And we also have the ability to disarm it. And so just to give ourselves permission to notice, if the energy of anger is within me, that's an energy packet, choice is involved. Do I want to detonate this outwardly or inwardly? Or would I prefer to disarm it? And the Bhagavad Gita highly recommends choosing to disarm it. And so we can talk about some ways in which we can practice that in our human bodies, with our human hearts, our human minds, our human lives. So one of the teachings, this is a one-liner from the Buddha, and this is one that is sort of like an understatement, maybe of all time, that made me burst out laughing. The one who is awake says, "It is pleasant to be beyond suffering." Oh, laughing with love for the Buddha. So each of us, we're reminding ourselves, we have the ability to be human in this body, in this heart, in this mind, in this life, and also to be beyond suffering. So, and when we're in contact with our own awakeness, we can work skillfully and wisely with those energy packets of anger, if that's what arises, and we can choose how to work with that in a way that helps us be beyond suffering, and in a way that helps others be beyond suffering as well. And so, one way to think of this, it is pleasant to be beyond suffering. Thank you, Buddha. And we're choosing that for ourselves, and as we choose that, that choice becomes more available, more present to everyone we encounter, without our saying a word. Simply by our doing the inner work, that choice becomes possible for our families, for the people at work, for the people in the neighborhood, for the people on the bus or the train or the beltway, wherever it is that we are, as we choose to go beyond the energy packet of anger, to disarm it rather than detonate it, that becomes more present and possible and available to anyone that we encounter. So one way to do that is you can think of it as I'm choosing to climb the mountain. So when I climb the mountain, I will not see things from only one perspective. It will not be possible when I climb the mountain to see things from only one perspective. I'll be able to see the whole view. And from the whole view, I might still feel humanly deeply concerned, deeply involved, but I will be able to tap into what is highest and best, and what creates hope, what creates healing, what creates liberation, what creates possibility and freedom for myself and all. And then what happens is I'm already beyond suffering. I might be aware of the suffering, but I've already in some ways moved beyond it as well. And so give yourself that invitation and actually just choose one area of your life right now. So it could be something physically or emotionally or mentally. It could be in a family relationship, a friend relationship, relationship with yourself. It could be a workplace thing. It could be a, oh my gosh, this is how I feel when I look at the world thing. Choose one. Climb to the top of the mountain. You can do it instantly. It doesn't take any time at all. Just climb to the top of the mountain and say, I give myself permission to be beyond suffering in relation to this area where I have been struggling or feeling pain or feeling resistance. And I give myself permission to see all sides, to see the whole, to see the all. And I give myself permission to tune into what is true and filled with awareness and creates hope and helpfulness and healing, creates possibilities of optimal, kind, wise, generous, forward movement for myself and all. And instantly, we are able to feel that energy of the solution. And as we feel that energy of the solution, then it becomes visible through us in time and space. Our conscious choice and participation and actions are involved. And so this is where step by step, each of us is dedicated, committed, ongoingly, day by day, moment by moment, to taking the next step forward, to making this possibility, this positivity, this highest, hopeful, helpful energy visible in time and space. And we each do it using our own talents, using our own skills, using our own voice, our own body, our own heart, our own accent, our own energy, exactly where we are. Trusting the goodness of that. Because basically, if you are here, you have an appointment to be here that is given to you by the divine. And so trust that and allow yourself to be fully here, rejoicing in that. And courage arises from that. Commitment arises from that. Just so much joy and faithfulness and dedication and follow through arises from that. It is indeed pleasant to be beyond suffering. And so as many times as it takes, we choose that for ourselves, and we also choose that for all. I also just want to acknowledge before I share one of those stories that made tears stream down by my face. I recently came across a 1968 poem from Gwendolyn Brooks. And Emily Dickinson's definition of poetry was, it lifts the top of your head off. So this poem by Gwendolyn Brooks lifts the top of your head off. It was written in 1968, but it also feels like it was written for now, for right now. And the closing lines, she goes through like everything that it's possible to feel in a human body. It's possible to feel that your feet are tired. It's possible to feel that your heart is tired. And she says, nevertheless, live. That is one line that just stands all on its own. The whole stanza is that one line. Nevertheless, live. And so just feel the power of that and choose that. Nevertheless, live. And then the closing stanza conduct your blooming in the noise and whip of the whirlwind. That takes your head right off, doesn't it? And so she says, if you are aware of the noise and the whip of the whirlwind, that's where you get to bloom. Right there, right in the midst of the noise of the whirlwind, right in the midst of the whip of the whirlwind. And I also love her phrasing, conduct your blooming. So she's telling you choice is involved, dignity is involved. The way you conduct yourself matters. It matters for you, and it matters for hundreds of other people, some of whom you will know and some of whom you will not know. And so just give yourself that awesome freedom and dedication and permission. I choose to conduct my blooming in the noise and whip of the whirlwind. Right here, right now. And you can feel that the blooming happens as we give ourselves permission, right in the midst of whatever it is that's happening in time and space. So I have a story to share. This is one of those true stories that helps make visible something that the Bhagavad Gita says. So the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 4 says, in whatever way humans worship the divine, in that same way the divine comes to them. And so I'm just inviting you to think about that for a second. In whatever way you worship the divine, in that same way the divine comes to you. Another way to put this, what you focus on focuses on you. What you give yourself to gives itself to you. And so very practically speaking, please, 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 give yourself to what you love and to what you would love to see more of. Focus on what you adore and what you would adore seeing more of. It's not asking for ignorance. It's not asking for unawareness of what's happening in the realm of time and space. Instead, it is saying awareness is required, and give yourself to what you would love to see more of. As soon as the awareness is present, choose wisely, what would I love to help make visible in time and space? Because that will give itself to me inwardly, and that will be pictured outwardly through me. And that will be what I increasingly see and hear and feel and engage with as I encounter the world. And so again, in whatever way humans worship the divine, in the same way the divine comes to them. And so this is a true story about three friends. So the friends are young people. They're out in the field, and a storm comes on. The storm comes on, and thunder and lightning arise in the storm. So the wind is whipping. Speaking of the storm that Gwendolyn Brooks just named, the wind is whipping in the midst of this storm. And the three friends grab onto each other's hands to help one another. So they're joined. They're holding hands. Lightning strikes them. And the lightning goes through all three of them, and all three of them travel instantly beyond the body together. And they're still joined as they travel beyond the body together. And they are immediately aware of everything about the other. There's no deception. There's no pretense. There's no lie. When we travel beyond the body, the light sees us. And so you are seen and known and loved more purely and clearly and directly than you have ever been seen and known and loved, unless perhaps you have had the chance of seeing a teacher such as Swami Shankarananda. Being in the gaze of a teacher such as Swami Shankarananda, you are seen and known and loved in that same way, by that gaze. So they see and they know exactly what all three are feeling. And they encounter pure light. They encounter the divine, and they do it simultaneously. So they are aware that one of them is seeing the light as an angel of strength. So one of them sees the light as an angel of strength. That person's consciousness translates pure light and says to that person, pure light is an angel of strength. And so that person is able to connect with the light as an angel of strength. And the other two are aware at the same time that this person is seeing the light as an angel of strength. One person sees the light as his late father, who had been a career military officer. And so there's an embrace of father and son. And the son had felt a feeling of doubt and a feeling of wondering if his father would be disapproving of him, because the son was a peace activist and the father had been a career military man. And the father said to the son, "You have to be true to yourself. I am so proud of you and I love you so much. Thank you for being true to yourself." And so all of them were aware that this was how the light was greeting that member of this trio that had traveled beyond the body simultaneously. And then the third member of the friends greeted the light, and the light greeted him in the form of the Buddha, in the form of the one who was awake. And so just notice, it's the same light. And it is being encountered by each of these three in the way that they are able to greet the light, in the way that the light is most able to reach them purely and clearly and directly. And they were able to see exactly what this verse from the Bhagavad Gita tells us. In whatever way humans worship me, in that way I come to them. And so for yourself, this is where meditation becomes incredibly amazing and such a gift. In meditation, we have the ability to expand beyond the sort of limitations and restrictions and filters that we usually operate in a human body. We have the ability to go directly to the light. We do not have to leave the body. So in meditation, we have the ability to open our heart and to allow the light directly to gaze into our heart. And to allow the light to tell us exactly what it is. Each of those three received a gift from the light that was exactly the gift that they were ready to receive. And we don't have to wait. We can do this right now. And so right now, I'm closing my eyes and I'm inviting you to do the same. We are inviting ourselves to open our heart in love and in trust, giving ourselves silently permission to let go of any human limitations, concepts, judgments, fears, patterns. Allowing the light to lift us into pure light. Allowing the divine to gaze directly into our heart. Opening our heart in love and in trust to be filled with the pure energy of wholeness, of healing, of forgiveness. Allow the light to fill the heart to such fullness that boundaries melt away, and you simply become part of the light. And allow the light to greet you, to know you, to love you in absolute purity. And allow yourself to receive exactly what is perfect to receive right now. For some, awareness arises instantly about what you have received. For some, awareness can come to you later as you sleep in the form of a dream. Later as you meditate, you might be doing dishes or taking a walk. In a moment between human thoughts, you might become aware on ever deeper levels of what you have received. So know and give thanks and trust that you have received. And also give permission for this awareness to come to life in you, to be embodied through you, to smile through you, and speak through you, and shine through you, and sing through you, and be fully, gladly, generously present through you. I invite you to keep your eyes closed. I'm blinking mine open to share with you a passage from St. Paul. This is from Romans 12:1 and 2. And the teaching that he shares here is very similar to what was directly experienced by the three friends who traveled beyond the body. The message that the light gave to them was this: treat absolutely everyone the way you would want to be treated, because they are you. There is no separateness. We are here in the realm of time and space. The illusion of separateness is pretty clearly operative. It is an illusion. We cannot harm another without harming ourselves. We cannot help another without helping ourselves. And we and all will directly feel the effects of what we choose, what we think, what we speak, what we create. And so St. Paul says, therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer yourselves holy and pleasing to God. This is true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is: divine, good, pleasing, perfect will. Swami Nityananda has a fantastic line about God's will. He says, God's will is the manifesting power of God's love and wisdom in action. So all we're doing ever is aligning with divine love and wisdom in action. That's it. Just keep aligning with divine love and divine wisdom in action. St. Paul goes on to say, we, though many, form one body, and each member belongs to all the others. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. Whatever your gifts are, share them diligently and cheerfully. And so just again, a reminder, if you see someone who is acting in a way that from a human perspective can only be described as vile, they are feeling vile within themselves. And whatever they are creating, they will meet the effects of that. So if you see that, go beyond judgment, go beyond reaction, and choose to climb the mountain. So climb the mountain of awareness, look at all sides, and just ask, would I like to energize hope and health and healing and hopefulness and helpfulness and what I adore? Or would I like to energize more of what I prefer not to experience? And then keep climbing. Keep remembering it is pleasant to be beyond suffering. And it is possible, even in the midst of the noise and whip of the whirlwind, to be beyond suffering. Another way of putting that is, just give yourself permission to feel all the love in the universe is actually within you. And so connect with that. And then if you feel all the love in the universe, I'm inviting you to do that right now. Just invite yourself to feel all the love in the universe, and then gently, don't energize this too much, but look at something that you were aware of this week that you were like, woof, what is that person doing? When all the love in the universe is within you, you're able to look at it with neutrality and impartiality and non-attachment. And you're able to be beyond suffering. And you're able, without even thinking about it, spontaneously to choose what is highest and best for you and for all. And that is another way of saying that it is possible to conduct our blooming right in the midst of the noise and the whip of the whirlwind. So thank you all for doing that. It is magnificent. It is so precious. And it's working. Your presence is so significant. It matters so much. Thank you. God bless you all.